Hey class, I'm here to give you a video for today. I talked to Deacon yesterday and I know Mrs. Mays is on quarantine and her class is on quarantine now. So I'm gonna try to go off of what Deacon told me for things that you have done, and we'll go over some stuff. So first, I wanna give you your word of the day. Let me flip my camera. Our word is amulets, and there are some pictures of some actual amulets from Egypt. So our word is amulets, and you also should have pharaoh, sarcophagus, and mummification. So, okay, so those are the words that you're supposed to have for this week. Now, I did talk to Deacon. He said you guys have a lot of stuff that you might not have done, so we're going to use today as a catch-up day because I know that we didn't have school and we missed those days, and now we're kind of behind. And whoever my sub is today, thank you for subbing, and I'm gonna show you some things that they can get done today. And if they get things done, they have a big giant coloring contest that they certainly can work on, and I'm gonna give you some other things that they could do. Okay, so first, you definitely should have this coloring contest, your Egyptian coloring mural contest. So that's gonna be the very last thing you need to work on. Yesterday, you were supposed to read in your Mummies and Pyramid book, and in that book, you should be reading chapters 7 and 8, working on the front and the back of that paper. And then we have to color our necklaces, falcon here, and the little lotus flowers at the bottom. So you're working on that. That was yesterday's stuff that I know that you don't have done. And then let me flip this real quick. You should have your mummy mask on the front, King Tut, Great Sphinx, how a mummy is made, this, that, these all finished, the Nile River. Okay. So you should have all of those things completed, and if you don't, that's something that we're going to work on getting done today. I'm hopefully going to be able to send you at 12:30 to music and art every day this week since Miss Mays' class is gone. So that will be something that you can do. Substitute teacher, whoever you are, in the afternoon at about probably 1:45-ish. You could take them out from 1:45 to 2:10 or 2:10 to 2:45 for a little afternoon recess if they get all their work done. It's going to be beautiful weather, so I don't mind you doing that and letting them have some free time out there by themselves. You can take them to the playground, that would be fine. And if they get to go to art and music every day, that will change, and it's at from 12:30 to 1:30 when they come in from lunch recess. Let's see what else. And I know some of them may not have their homework done. They need to make sure they did that, their Venn diagram. And then I'm gonna go ahead and show you in that Thursday folder that is on my desk. We did not get to use that last week. There should be in my Thursday folder something that looks like this, a sarcophagus coffin, and then this, which is a burial tomb, and then this paper that says Ancient Egypt and has hieroglyphics, papyrus, pharaoh, and pyramids at the bottom. If they get done with everything else that they need to do today, they can work on coloring those three things. Do not cut them out, do not make them, do not do anything with them except color them today, and then I will tell them tomorrow what they need to do with those so we can get that all finished. And like I said, they have, Deacon said some of them don't have their Halloween packets done, which is the stories of the 4 books that I had in my classroom. The Big Pumpkin, there was a skeleton story, the Halloweener, and something else. And they need to get those packets done also. And they also have a coloring contest with a sugar skull. So they have plenty of things that they need to get done today. And if they're finished, they certainly can read their AR books and work on that. Do that when they're done with all their work. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to read to them out of their book, so you can push pause on this. So substitute, remember, we're going to have a normal regular day. Miss Mays will not be there, so they will not be having anybody in there from 10:15 to 11:15. So just let them work all morning after they get back from specials in the morning. And then at 11:30, you'll have to take them to lunch. You'll have to do duty outside because there's no one to do that. And then when they come in, hopefully they'll get to go to art and music at that time. And the schedule after that, they can do a little more. They can have their deer time from 1:30 to like 2. And then you can take them out for an extra recess at whatever time you deem a good time if you want to. And that will be our schedule for the next couple of days. So I will get you some new stuff to do tomorrow on tomorrow's video. But they can start those new coloring sheets if they get all their other stuff done in their Egypt book, in their Mummies and Pyramid books, and all their papers and their folders and their Halloween packets. So they have plenty of stuff to do. So you can push pause right here if you want, and then I'm going to read a chapter to them. So let me stick this up here. Oh, whoops. I do that every time. A little bit hot, sorry. My face flushes, I'm kind of hot. So yesterday, in our chapter, I hope I didn't lose my bookmark. Where is my bookmark? Yesterday when we finished, Charlotte came and picked Jack up from school, and Charlie told his friends he had to talk to them about all this and what was going on, and Jack went with Charlotte even though he didn't want him to go, and his friend said, hey, we have got to go have a meeting about this, and it's going to have to be in the bunker, so we need to go to the bunker and we need to figure this out. And so this is called the bunker. So Charlie has gone with his 3 friends to the bunker to discuss what he thinks is going on. In the middle of the lawn that stretched out in front of the Cypress Creek Library stood a gigantic pine. It was so tall that the previous December, when the tree was decorated with lights, Charlie had been able to see it from the mansion on Dechant Hill. The sight had been one of the few things that had given him comfort during the first Christmas he and his brother had been forced to spend with the step monster. Oh, let's go, Paige ordered. She checked the sidewalk for passerbys, then pulled one of the pine's low-hanging branches to the side. Charlie ducked and waddled toward the open space at the center of the trunk. The others followed until all 4 of them were sitting with their legs crossed, hidden from the world beneath the pine's broad branches. This was the bunker. Wherever there was a problem that needed to be solved or gossip that had to be shared, this was where the 4 would meet. And here's a picture of it under the tree. To enter the bunker, you had to agree to 2 rules. You could speak nothing but the truth when you were there, and you could never repeat it. This was where the 4 friends had to devise the plan that defeated Alfie's bullies. It was the place that they had visited every afternoon for weeks after Paige's mom got so sad that she had to stay in the hospital. And it was where they had come to study with Rocco when his dad threatened to take him off the basketball team unless his grades improved. Okay, spill it, Paige told Charlie. What's going on? I'll tell you, but you won't believe me, Charlie grumbled. The darkness now filled him from the tips of his toes to the top of his head. Things couldn't possibly get any worse. He'd just watched his little brother be carried away. How do you know? Alfie challenged. I think Charlotte Dechant might be a witch, Charlie said. His 3 friends traded glances. All right then, I'm sure she is, Charlie insisted, his frustration growing. The longer Charlie waited to save Jack, the more likely his little brother would end up on the spit. Look, ever since I moved into the purple house, I've been having horrible nightmares about a witch who wants to lock me up in a cage. I keep telling myself she isn't real, but she is. Last night I found out that she and Charlie are working together. Or Charlotte, sorry. You're having nightmares about your stepmother being a witch? Alfie looked relieved. That seems perfectly normal to me. Except that Charlotte really is a witch, Charlie cried. Think about it. She cooks up all sorts of weird potions that she won't sell in her shop. She keeps them in the tower. And she has a binder filled with horrible pictures she's drawn of monsters and freaks. And you've heard Charlotte laugh. A real human being can't make sounds that awful. No one said a word. Charlie knew what he said he must have surrounded. No one said a word. Charlie knew what he said must have sounded insane. But these were his best friends in the world. Shouldn't they see that he was telling the truth? I figured you wouldn't believe me. Charlie pulled his legs up to his chest and rested his head on his knees. It's not that we don't believe you, Alfie said diplomatically. It's just that I don't know if I believe in witches. Do you really think your stepmom is I believe you, Rocco declared. Charlie lifted his head and saw Paige and Alfie staring at Rocco in surprise. Rocco's glossy black hair had hid much of his face, as if he used a twig to dry a stick figure in the dirt. Art had never been Rocco's strong suit, and the doodles all looked like ogres with glaring eyes and pony haircuts. Dude, I've been having nightmares too. They started a few nights ago, and they're really getting bad. I haven't seen any witches, but the same guy is in all of my dreams. He wants to keep me in the 7th grade forever. And in my dreams, he's got a different name. But I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be Principal Stearns, Alfie gasped. I keep dreaming about him too. He's the one who makes me take the physical fitness exam over and over again. And no matter how hard I try, I never pass. Stearns is the proof that monsters exist, Rocco said. So why wouldn't I believe in Charlie's witches too? Shadows danced across the dirt floor of the bunker, and the air was heavy in the fragments of pine. Okay, so we've all been having bad dreams, Alfie finally said. But nightmares can't be real. According to the laws of physics, I don't know a thing about physics, but I'm pretty sure my nightmares are real, Charlie said. The witch from my dreams told me that when you go to sleep, your spirit travels into a nightmare land. And if you're scared enough, your body can pass over to the other side too. The other side? Paige asked. Yeah, it's called the Netherworld, Charlie explained. I don't know where it is or how you get there, but the witch has figured out how to pass between 2 worlds. Last night she came to my house and tried to steal Jack. She wants to eat him. I think the step monster may be helping her. What? Paige gasped. Whoa, Rocco looked around. I'll buy that Charlotte might be a witch, but are you trying to say that your redheaded mom likes to eat kids? Who knows, Charlie said. Maybe that's why she moved to Cypress Creek in the first place. Maybe she ate up all the kids in her old town and came here looking for fresh meat. His friend stared at him in silence. And now Charlotte's got to act fast because I know what she is. That's why we have to find Jack right away. Alfie whimpered and hugged himself. It makes no scientific sense whatsoever, but this is all getting really creepy. Your brother is alone with Charlotte right now? Rocco asked. Charlie could see his friend was worried. Paige frowned and twisted a strand of her hair the way she always did when she was trying to figure things out. Okay, let's not panic yet. Jack's probably fine, she said, though she didn't look completely convinced. Maybe, Charlie said, but what if he's not? There's a way to find out if Jack's in trouble, Rocco said. Surveillance mission. Good idea, said Alfie. Charlotte said she was taking Jack for ice cream. There's only one place to buy ice cream in Cypress Creek, Paige pointed out. Yeah, Rocco said, and it's 2 blocks from here. The ice cream parlor next door to Hazel's Herbararium was a brightly lit vision in pink and light blue. Painted on its front windows, pastel-colored teddy bears danced with double-scooped cones on their heads. It was right next to the herb store beside it, and it was decorated in black and severe shades of green. Its window was filled with bizarre plants collecting the dim Cypress Creek sunlight. One shop was a little kid's fantasy. The other was kind of straight out of a nightmare. Charlie checked the lines of cars parked on the street. Charlotte's old Range Rover wasn't among them. Her car isn't here. We need to go, Charlie urged his friends. Just hang on a second, Paige said. We walked here. Maybe Jack and Charlotte walked here too. Charlie almost stomped away. We're wasting valuable time. She could be cooking my brother right now. You guys hang tight. I swear, I'll be fast, Rocco said. Then he took off across the parking lot at maximum speed. He'd watched a million action movies and he'd memorized all the moves. When he reached the ice cream parlor, Rocco flattened himself against the wall commando style, then inched over to the glass window and peeked inside. After a moment, he turned toward his friends and shook his head. Jack wasn't inside. Come back, Carly shouted, just as Rocco dropped to all fours and began to crawl toward the store next door. Shh, Paige ordered. He's taking a look inside the herbarium, Alfie said. Rocco cupped his hands together and peered between the plants in the herbs shop's window. Then he frantically waved his friends over. I think I'm going to throw up, Charlie said. When they reached the window, he peeked in through a tangle of creeping thyme. Charlotte was at the store's counter, slurping something out of a black bowl. Look, Alfie said. Jack had just hopped up on a stool on the other side of the counter. He too had a black bowl in his hand. She must be trying to poison him, Charlie said. I don't think so, Paige told him. Looks like they're eating ice cream. Inside the store, Charlotte said something they couldn't hear, but it must have been funny because Jack laughed so hard he fell off his seat. And when he got back onto it, Charlotte was waiting with her spoon, poised like a catapult. She sent a glob of ice cream sailing toward Jack's nose. It hit with a splatter, and as Jack wiped the mess from his cheeks, he couldn't have looked happier. I'm sorry, Charlie, Paige said sympathetically, but that doesn't really look like a witch to me. Jack's in serious danger, all right, Rocco said. He's about to eat way too much ice cream. Maybe we should go get some too, Alfie said. You know, like an undercover mission? Maybe Charlotte left some clues in the ice cream parlor. Charlie shook his head in disbelief. Sorry, it's just all this talk about witches and nightmares. Stress makes me hungry. Yeah, I know what you mean, Rocco said. I'm dying for an ice cream cone right now. Do you mind? Paige asked Charlie. I mean, now that we know Jack's safe and all, is it okay if we get some ice cream? Ugh, do whatever you want, Charlie grumbled. I'm heading home. Okay. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when Charlie gets home. Now, I'm going to give you a little factor crud for today. Sorry. You ready for this one? A healthy human farts between 15 and 30 times per day. Okay, so a healthy human farts between 15 and 30 times per day. You have to decide if that's fact or is it crud. All right, be good today. Be nice to your substitute teacher. And I will be seeing you next Tuesday, and I'll have another video up for tomorrow's work. I love you. Can't wait to see you. And remember, kindness is a language everyone can hear. Bye.